My job, the way I look at it, is more about seamless mixing, on the fly and reading a crowd. I got my start as a DJ accidentally. I looked a lot like Rick Astley back in 1989, and I entered a lip sync contest at a bar called Studebaker's and came in second place. And the guy that ran the entertainment for the bar called me up and asked if I'd be interested in auditioning to be a DJ. And I did the audition and I got the job and fell into it. So I learned how to read a crowd, beat mix, play music, just sort of stand in front of an audience and be able to make them dance. I formed Righteous with Gavin Bradley in around 2001. I had been managing a band called Brother Love Canal in like 2000, and Gavin had done a remix of one of their songs and sent it to us. Loved what he did, so contacted him, and it turned out part of his business was to work with club DJs and produce tracks with them. And I'd been a bit of a writer back in the day, so I thought, oh, you know what, let's take one of my songs and do a house track with it. So contacted him, did that. After that, I came up with another track idea, brought it to his attention. It worked out incredibly well, and so we just realized that we had something when we worked together, and he asked me to work together with him and came up with the name Righteous, and we just went from there. The remix for Nelly Furtado's Try came about in the same way that the Tina Turner remix had come about. Gavin was playing around with an idea and a groove that he had been working on and sort of had the first sort of intro of the track, and again didn't know where else to take it, so he asked me to come in and again help with the breakdown and the build of the track. So the track again wasn't an officially commissioned remix, it was more of what we call a white label or a bootleg, where DJs or producers will take something off a record, remix it, and then just put it out there, play it in their set so that we can get some notoriety or whatever. The success of the remix was kind of crazy because, again, like the Tina Turner, once I played it, people loved it and wanted to hear it all the time. And I knew some people at Chum FM and contacted them and said, hey, this is doing really well in my sets. Here's an edit of what we've done with it. And they just started playing. They played it all the time, actually. I think they played it more than the original version of Try. So that's sort of how that remix came about, and I'm glad it happened. It was nice to hear your sound on the radio. That was kind of crazy. I got a gig in London, England at a club called Pasha, there's a Pasha in London, there's a Pasha in Ibiza, and one in New York as well. So it's like, that was a big deal for me. So I got on the bill, and the DJ from Canada, and I had a track that I loved. It was called Stay Around by Milk and Sugar, filtered disco, anthem-y kind of track, and it was my little, I played it in my sets in Toronto all the time, and the crowd always loved it, so I thought, oh, it'd be nice to drop this in a huge room in London. And so I asked my DJ buddies in London, I said, this track? And nobody really knew it, which I found surprising. So at the right moment, in my set at Pasha in London, in front of like 1,000 people, I dropped the track, and it has this beautiful breakdown and the most amazing build. And it's one of those songs that if you don't have your hands in the air and a big smile on your face when it peaks, I think you're dead. It's just like one of those things. And so it was really nice to sort of drop that, watch that little break happen, and then when it peaked, just to see like 1,000 people with their hands in the air, and screaming and just going off the rails was just wow. You get goosebumps from the bottom of your feet to the the tip of your head, and it was just, it's one of those moments I'll never forget. Just looking at that crowd and going, I know I didn't produce the track, but the fact that they'd never heard it before and they were responding so positively to it, just it's why you DJ. I'm DJ Dwayne Minard, and I'm not wearing any pants. Oh, what, you want me to keep going?